Hey you guys, I'm going to walk you through some of this first test review to get you ready for the test. Hopefully you feel pretty good about the quiz. Yeah, here we go. So it says draw a line with the given intercept. So an x-intercept, remember this is our x-axis. So where it hits the x-axis is an x-intercept. That would be here at 2. And then our y-intercept is 5. That's where it hits the y-axis. But it says draw a line. You cannot just plot those points. That doesn't tell us what our line would be. So you need to draw that line in. Okay, I will let you do number 2 yourself there. Then it says find the x and y intercepts and then graph the equation using the x and y intercepts. So I'm going to do one of these and then you can do the other one yourself. Remember, this was the cover-up method, or where we plugged in 0 for our x and 0 for our y. So in this case, if I plug in 0 for my x, I would get the equation 2y equals negative 10. If I plug in 0 for my y, I would get negative 5x equals negative 10. So my two equations, my x-intercept is going to be found by saying negative 5x equals negative 10. My y-intercept is going to be found by saying 2y equals negative 10. So we're going to solve both of those. We're going to divide by negative 5 and divide by negative 5. And I get x equals 2. And then solve here, we're going to divide by 2 and divide by 2. And I get y equals negative 5. Okay, so those are my intercepts. So if I plot that, an x-intercept of 2 is going to go on my x-axis at 2. A y-intercept of negative 5 is going to go down 5 from 0, 0. So right there. And then my line, my graph, is going to look like that. Okay, so you try that yourselves on number 4. All right, these guys. Says for each equation, circle whether it is a horizontal or vertical line, and then graph the line on the coordinate plane below. So things to remember, when it's y equals, I said if you flip over a y, it kind of looks like a lowercase h, right? That's not neat, I'm sorry. So whenever it's y equals, it's horizontal. If it's x equals, that's vertical. So let's graph y equals 6. Okay, if you think about where y is always 6, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, every y value is 6. Well, if I plot those 3 points, 1, 6, 2, 6, 3, 6, you can see that gives me this line. Okay, make sure you draw the line in. That's what we're looking for here, is a line. Then the second one, x equals negative 4. Think about where x would be negative 4. Negative 4 is 0, negative 4, 1, negative 4, 2, and so on and so forth. Okay, so negative 4, 0, negative 4, 1, negative 4, 2. You see, you get this vertical line right here. Okay, I will let you do 7 and 8 yourselves. Okay, then this one, write each equation in standard form using integers. So here's what standard form looks like. That's what we want our answer to look like. And we'll do both of these together because they're different types of problems. Do you remember what you had to do here? So we're going to start by multiplying both of our sides by a number. Does anyone remember what that number is? It's that guy right there, right? Multiply by 3 on the left and multiply by 3 on the right. So I end up with, let me zoom in a little so I'm not writing so messy, 3y on the left equals, now this 3 is going to get multiplied by both of these, but remember 3 and 3 here, these two 3's will be 1. So all we have here is a negative 2x. That gets rid of our denominator. But then you still have to distribute that 3 here. 3 times 3 is 9. So it's going to look like this. So here's where we are. We want standard form. So we want the x and y together. So we're going to add 2x to both sides. and we get 2x plus 3y equals 9. Okay, so that's if it's in slope-intercept form to start. If it's in point-slope form to start, then what we're going to do is we're going to distribute this. So y plus 6 equals negative 3x minus 3 when we distribute. And then all you have to do is take away the 6. So you get y equals negative 3x minus 9. I lied. That's not all you have to do. One more step. Now we want to get this guy over here. So we're going to add 3x and add 3x. So you have 3x plus y equals negative 9. Okay. All right. This says find the x and y intercepts, then write it in slope-intercept form, and then turn it into standard form. Okay, so it's a little bit of all that we've done all wrapped up together. So an x-intercept, where does it hit your x-axis? What's that point right there? So our x-intercept is negative 2. Our y-intercept right here is 1. And then you can just count the slope. The slope is up 1 over 2, so 1/2 is our slope. So if we're going to put this into slope-intercept form first, okay, we only need these two things, the slope and the y-intercept. So it's going to be y equals the slope times x plus the y-intercept plus 1. Okay, so that's slope-intercept form. We now want standard form. Remember, with standard form, we don't want fractions. Okay, so in order to get rid of our fractions, we're going to take that slope-intercept form, y equals 1/2 x plus 1, and we're going to multiply everything by what? By 2. So if I multiply by 2 on the left, I have 2y. Multiply by 2 here, and that would just be 1x, or you can just write x, and then multiply by 2 here, and you get 2. Okay, so then the last thing we have to do is just take away the 1x. So you have negative 1x plus 2y equals 2. Or technically, if you went the other way with it, you could do 1x minus 2y equals negative 2. So either of those would be acceptable. Okay. All right, then it is parallel, perpendicular, or neither. If they are parallel, it's because they have the same slope. If they are perpendicular, it's because they are opposite reciprocal slopes. Okay. So if you look at this problem, this one is in slope-intercept form. So I know my slope here is what?
Well, that must make you sick.
Negative 4. This is your slope. Okay. This one is not yet, but if we just take away a 4x from both sides, then it will be. So y equals negative 4x minus 16. Now you can see my slope is negative 4. So look at your two slopes. Are those parallel, perpendicular, or neither? This would be parallel because they have the same slope. Okay, I'll let you take a look at that one and think about what you know. Remember for number 13, what you know from numbers 5 through 8 with parallel, perpendicular, y equals, x equals, what do you know there? Okay, we are going to do, you know what, we're going to do number 15. This says, write the equation of two lines in slope-intercept form, one that's parallel and one that's perpendicular to this. So I'm going to let you do the parallel by yourself. I think that one's easier. So given a point, and a slope. We're going to put it into point slope and slope-intercept form. So they give us the point 2, -4 in this equation, okay? So we're going to use the point 2, -4, and what slope? That's terribly messy, sorry. Okay, if we are going perpendicular to this, right now the slope is 1/2. So perpendicular would be a slope of -2. So we're going to use a slope of -2. So if I put this into point slope form, it's going to be y minus our y value, so y minus a -4, equals the slope times x minus the x value, which is 2. So simplify that, y plus 4 equals -2 times x minus 2. Okay, and then slope-intercept form, if we distribute this, I would get y plus 4 equals -2x plus 4, right? -2 times a -2 is a +4. And then slope-intercept form would just be taking this 4 away. And look what happens. Those both become zeros. So y equals -2x. Okay. And I'm going to let you try this one on your own too. And then we'll go over whatever you have questions on after the fact. All right, there we go.